Welcome back, enemies of the fire. And, you know, this is usually the part of the show where we go over everything going on with Chicago Fire. We lament the fact that George Heights has a job. We lament the fact that Frank Klopas is still coaching this team. And we just generally we have run out of things to say that they're terrible. They lost 2 games this week, both at home, by the way. So screw it. We're gonna figure out who the top 10 coaches are in Chicago Fire history by doing a tier list. So, James, you're driving this car.
All right. Well, welcome to the tier list of Chicago Fire head coaches or managers, depends what dialect you use, right? We have the list of 14 managers, really 11, but 14 managers, different periods of time in Chicago Fire history, and they're all in order. And we have a little bit of a grading system called great, good enough, insufficient data, bad, and absolute garbage. I thought I changed that tier to something else, but I guess we're stuck with it.
It was supposed to be you were going to change it to dumpster fire.
I changed it to dumpster fire. It just didn't save.
But you know what? That's the most cliche joke about this team in the last 15 years, man.
Oh, I might be able to change it live. I'm doing it live.
We're doing it live, guys.
All right, let's see. Boom. Yep, I changed it. All right, so there it is. So let's start with, who do you want to start with here? I mean, like, our clearly.
Let's start at the beginning. Let's start at the beginning, brother.
Let's start with the.
Oh man, it's just gonna go downhill from there. That's gonna be a wild tier list. All right, Bob Bradley is our first on our tier list.
Great.
Former U.S. men's national team coach, Mr. Bob Bradley. I like.
Former MLS Coach of the Year, Bob Bradley from 1998. I mean, just what, you can't go wrong with this guy.
Did you see how he didn't even wait for us to talk about him? He just put him in great.
Yeah, he just already.
It's just that one's clear.
He's the GOAT. He won the U.S. Open Cup and the MLS Cup in 1998.
Yeah,
he won another Open Cup, right, in 2002. Am I wrong? Pretty sure. Yeah, he won another Open Cup in 2002. Dude, he built the dynasty. He grew players. He brought in players. He managed when we actually had big personalities and big time players. He managed personalities.
The only thing that pissed me off. The only thing that pissed me off is that he left to New York.
Well, I mean, he's Jersey, but yeah, I mean, this man coached Egypt during a civil war. This man, dude, you cannot. This man is like T2000. He is a robot, dude. I have nothing but respect for him. James was absolutely correct in putting him right there, right away.
And for fire coaches, he's absolutely in this tier. He wins the double in his very first season. He has 4 successful seasons, 1 really bad season that actually ends up with him leaving and absconding to, as you said, New York, right?
No, he went to the U.S. team.
He went to the U.S.
No, he went to New York Metro Stars.
He went to the New York Metro Stars after 2002.
Hold on. Yeah. I don't believe this.
So this is wild, though. Like, he had 20 wins his first season, 18, 17, 16. So he just goes down by
a bitch. He's right.
Told you.
And then 13 losses in 2002 leads to his departure. And in comes Dave Sarachan.
Well, hold on. Before we move to Dave Sarachan, thank God no other coach will ever leave us for New York again.
Oh, man.
Anyway, Mr. Dave Sarachan, also a prominent member of the coaching staff for many different regimes at the U.S. Soccer Federation, had himself a pretty good team to coach. Man, look,
Dave Sarachan.
Call me crazy, but wasn't Bob Bradley like Bruce Arena's assistant at DC United before the fire?
Bob Bradley was Bruce Arena's assistant at Virginia. I
Wow.
believe.
Oh,
And then also was his assistant at DC. And then everybody said, wait a second, this Bruce Arena guy's got himself a little bit of a coaching tree, and Chicago Fire plucked him out of DC to, win the double.
and wasn't Dave Sarkhan part of Bruce Arena's?
I mean,
Was
it's
it
all part
Bruce?
of the same tree. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
for
I'm
real.
like, was it? Oh, was it Bob Bradley's assistant manager, or was he Bruce Arena's assistant? I don't remember. And the
I
U.S.
mean, it's
men's
a good
national.
question, but again, he was all a part of that whole coaching tree. And I mean, Dave Sarachan, it's still a little bit before my time of being a hardcore watcher of the Chicago Fire, but I'd be
Oh,
hard pressed not to put him up in great with
he
with
was an assistant. Wow, that was a good coaching staff at DC United. You had Bruce Arena, Bob Bradley, and Dave Sark. Oh man, that was no wonder they were unstoppable the first 2 seasons.
they were unstoppable the first 3 out of 4 seasons.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
So,
Yep.
so James, go back to that tier list right quick.
Let's go to the tier list. And so Dave Sarachan, you want him? Where do you want him here?
I want
want
him in great. I want him in great, but he's not as good as Bradley.
I
Bradley's
mean,
still
no.
in first.
There are 2 coaches that are both MLS Coach of the Years. Dave Sarachan won a U.S. Open Cup in 2003, and they won the Community Shield for having the best record in MLS. Meanwhile, Bob Bradley, also MLS Cup Coach of the Year in 1998. So the obvious best choices for great. I wonder how the rest of these coaches will stack up here.
It depends on if you mean their career or their time at Chicago.
Yeah, we're talking about their time spent in Chicago.
So next up is
Hold on, I don't want to hang the door up on Dave Sarachan quite yet, but in 2003, 15 wins, it finished in first place, did really well. Second, in 2004, they really struggled. They did not do well with Dave, but they stuck with him, and they had a great 2005, really good 2006. Chicago Fire still in really good hands there with Dave Sarachan. Then comes 2007. And the next coach on our list, Denny Hamlet.
No. Skip that one because he only did 3 games. He was more front office still. He was just in for when Sarachan left.
Yeah.
So I think Sarachan left early to take a job as a youth coach in the U.S.
Oh.
And Hamlet just took over for a couple games.
For 3 games, and then it
3
says
games.
Juan Carlos Osorio.
Juan Carlos Osorio.
That name should sound familiar to most of our viewers here.
Another man who left us for New York after 1 season. I was shocked to see he only coached 18 games. Now, how did we finish? I'm trying to remember. We made 2 Eastern Conference Finals with Dennis, but did we make it with Juan? How far did we get in 07?
He had 6 wins, 3 losses, and 6 ties. So I mean, that's not bad. You're at 6. You're at
And it's the 3rd coach that's coming in the season.
Yeah, I mean.
How did we finish? How did we finish in 07 in the playoffs?
It says Dave Sarachan here, but
he started the year, then he left, and then old boy Dennis came in for a hot second, and then we hired Juan Carlos Osorio.
Postseason. We made the postseason.
Of course we did. Look at that semi. Okay, so we made the Eastern Conference semifinals.
No, we made the conference finals, and we lost to New England.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so we made the conference finals 3 straight years. 1 under Osorio and 2 under Hamlet. Okay, so Osario's sample size is much smaller than I thought, but he really used this. I would not say that. I would not say that.
I would keep him there. I will keep him there because we only had him for like 6 months, and he only played a handful of games. I mean, we've had coaches that will do good 1 year and then do crap the rest.
I would put him in good enough. Honestly, I felt like that 1 year, he used as a springboard to eventually be Mexico head coach.
Well,
How
I mean,
long
I
did
wouldn't
that
say.
last?
Well, it didn't, but I mean, come on.
But
Who
he's
didn't
still
see
one of
that
the better
happen?
fire coaches. Yeah, he's in the upper
He's good.
tier.
I would have liked to see him at least have a couple of seasons, but yeah, I guess if you want to put in good enough, fine.
We could put him in a holding pattern insufficient.
We'll hold him there. We'll see where some other folks.
Yeah, all right. Denny Hamlet.
Shaking.
I think we have sufficient data on Denny Hamlet.
Yo, you are insane. This is where I
Oh.
knew we were gonna fight. Dennis Hamlet is number 3 on this list currently. Like, even with Osario in good enough, I would have put Hamlet ahead of him. Hamlet made the conference finals in both of his seasons. He didn't even want to coach, hence the fact that he hasn't coached since. He's just been a big time, like, he's a big wig on a lot of different teams. He's been a GM. He's been a lot of things. A man who didn't even want to coach, had higher aspirations for the boardroom, ended up having 2 seasons that ended in the conference finals.
You know what? He actually will be a decent GM and a fire
Honestly,
right now.
I want him right now. I mean, honestly, he's somebody's president of soccer operations currently. Hold on, let me see what he's doing right now. This dude, I remember Fox Soccer Channel used to have a phone-in show, Fox Soccer Phone-In. That's where Eric Winaldo, told the story why John Harkes wasn't on the team. But
Oh, oh yeah, we're gonna go there. Yeah.
okay, so so he's not employed currently, but last season he was sporting director of New York Red Bulls. Dude, I'm telling you, Dennis Hamlet might even be better than Saracen, but I will concede that he comes after Saracen.
How long was he a president or GM for New York?
Well, he was an assistant in 2016 for New York, and then in 2017 through 2023, he was sporting director of Red Bull. He oversaw some good teams, and then he oversaw
That's what I was trying to get at. That's what I was trying to get at. Yeah. I wouldn't say he's great. He's probably was good enough.
All right, I will concede him behind Saracen, but my personal love, like I miss this. Anyway, I was telling that story. He was on that call-in show, and Costa Rica just got an opening. I don't know if you noticed, but he's a Costa Rican American, and I was asking if they had reached out to him about the job and if he was interested or whatever, and he kind of laughed it off. But I think they were sniffing around Dennis Hamlet there for a hot minute. So I don't know, man. I'm a fan, but you can put Saracen ahead of him.
You got a good point. You got a point. I mean, Saracen's got more wins.
Saracen did win silverware. That's kind of the thing that's killing me.
Saracen's won silverware. Saracen has 62 wins for the Fire. Hamlet's got 30 wins for the Fire. I mean, but in half the time. And imagine that. In half the time, Hamlet has 30 wins to Saracen's. If he had double the time, he might have really been really great. I like
extrapolate
Saracen.
that.
I'm gonna move Denny Hamlet into the great category, right behind the silverware winning coaches.
I can die a happy man now that I have been able to be on a podcast and give Dennis Hamlet some love.
Moving on to the very next coach. I believe is it Carlos de los Cobos?
Yep.
Carlos de los Cobos.
Bad.
I went to like 4 games that season because I had just moved.
No, he's not. No, he was bad. He got fired.
Yeah, he was bad. He was in bad. There were going to be people worse, but he was in bad. And I'm going to tell you this.
You don't think he's a dumpster fire? I mean, he lasted 1 year and 4 months.
No, that's because of 2 reasons. A, we were a better franchise than it expected more. If it was current times, he would have had 3 seasons. Secondly, I'll say this. He had a kind of crappy team. Like, look at 2010. 2010 was lit. And then,
Papa, McBride, Husidic, Carr, Freddie Lundberg.
That's when the wheels were falling off.
Nyarko, Paz, Thornton, Corbin Bone, CJ
Andrew
Brown,
Dykstra, Sean Johnson. Ugh.
Justin
I remember Andrew Dykstra.
Oh my God, Christoph Kroll.
Cigares.
I remember that guy too.
God.
Watson Sarobi.
What's
Victor
oh my
Pineda.
god, go back up, Tim Ward. Oh god. Umazor. Oh my god, I remember him. I thought he was gonna be
dude,
awesome.
he only played like 2 games, bro.
I know. I thought Umazor was gonna be sick. See, back then, that's when the Fire had been good for so long. You're like, oh well, I've never heard of this guy. He's got to be
He's
good.
probably,
The Fire are after him.
yeah.
Oh god. So yeah, I think he was pretty easy to peg. Honestly, I think he was. I think you were right. He's in bad.
He's
There
in
will
bad.
be
Yeah,
worse,
yeah.
but he's in
Yeah.
bad.
He's in, yeah.
All right. What's next? Oh, look at that. It's
Oh.
the guy who fired him
Oh,
and then
my
was like,
God.
"Oh, I'll just appoint myself."
I could do a better job.
I decided will look for me, and I found me. Here I am. I have the job.
Okay. He's not great. Obviously, he's not great. He's definitely not good. I wish there was a mid tier where it said just, he's not bad. He's not good. He's meh.
Because there's
If
no.
you're not bad, but you're not. If you're not bad, you're not good. Then you're okay. So
We don't have an
I would
okay.
put-
Maybe I gotta add one.
I would say this. I mean,
add
Frank's
okay.
first.
Yeah, add okay.
Let's do this. Add a road below. And we'll call it okay.
The first Klopas stint is when I started when a soccer club started making me upset with life. But like in retrospect.
I mean, the only reason I would even consider Klopas' stint as okay was because he did give us that 2013 season where we had the league MVP Mike McGee, and we actually was that the year that wasn't the year that we made the playoffs. The previous year we had made the playoffs with Klopas.
Kind of. It was a playing game.
Playing game, yeah.
And it was I sat home. I didn't give kids the candy. It ruined Halloween, man. 4-0.
Yeah.
It was just absolute garbage, man. The longer we talk, the closer I am to putting them in bad.
Frank Klopas in his very first stint, it was the best he ever did as a Fire coach.
Yes, it is.
There were some memorable games. There was the whole that 2-1 win at DC where they scored the goals in the last 3 minutes.
Oh yeah, you're right. So wait, hold on. Was Hamlet? De Los Cobos was the last person to get Blanco, wasn't he? Or did Frank?
Yeah. No, it was the what was it? Yeah, it was the Cobos that got. Was it, or Dennis Hamlet was the last one? I think Dennis Hamlet might have been the last one.
No, because him and McBride played together a season, so that would have been 2010. All right, who's next? Who do we get to judge now?
Oh, hold on. I was looking up the Blanco
Hold on.
stuff.
Quick shout out to Chicago Fire. This little PDF that we're looking at, this is the sickest thing I've ever seen.
Yep.
It is all stats for all seasons and all sorts of information.
I see
wild.
2009
And he's not
here.
He's not there for 2010.
I don't think he's there for
really. Oh, McBride was there in 2009. That's what screwed me up. Okay.
And you know what it is too is that I guess Andrew Hoffman didn't want to pay Cuauhtemoc his money.
That sounds about right. Did you see in 2010 Marco Papa? He won MLS Goal of the Year from the first game of the season. I don't know if you guys remember that one, man. I went to that game. That was wild. We won 2-1. Marco Papa hit goal of the season. The MLS Puskas.
Wow.
Anyway.
Wow.
Moving on.
So we've placed Klopas into okay, fine.
Correct.
Following Frank Klopas is the other Frank.
Frank Yellow.
Oh God, man, that's dumpster fire territory now.
I would put him in bad, but behind De Los Cobos.
No, he was dumpster fire. Our worst season was with Frank Yellow.
Frank Yallop, what's hilarious about Frank Yallop is when he came to the Fire in 2014. What year was that? In 2014, the league had already passed him by.
Yeah, he's a dumpster fire, bro. Don't do bad.
No, you're right. You're right. Dumpster fire.
I think De Los Cobos was bad too.
I mean, that's why there's a bad category.
Those Cobos had more wins.
I mean, just to sneak ahead though, here, just like if we're looking at Frank's bad. Frank now, but Frank's not dumpster fire bad. So I feel like
oh my god,
are.
don't jump!
Don't jump!
That's an argument we are about to have.
All right, I'm excited. So let's move on to Brian Bliss.
Hold on, does anybody have any other stories of Frank Yallop other than just wanting to pull your hair out? Don't you dare put him there.
Don't you dare! Yep.
I don't know, man. Frank Yallop was just. That was the beginning.
That was kind of like that was the worst seasons with him running it.
You know, I was mad, but at least in my brain, I was like, okay, well, this is just the couple years the team's gonna suck, and then like once they get better, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
And they haven't gotten better since then. Anyway. Who was next, James? Who?
Oh, yeah. There's not a whole lot we can say about Frank Yallop besides the fact that it was just crappy transfers.
Well, but look at this team. This team should not have been that bad. Look at this: Akam, Bonanique.
Oh, that's right. That was Akam's first season.
Maloney, Patrick Nyarko, Harry Shipp. Oh my God, that's Jovan. Oh no, that's Johnson. No, we did have Jovan Jones.
We had Jovan Jones. Yeah, we were the one that brought him.
Oh my God,
Lovell Palmer,
Mike McGee, just unbelievable.
Matt Polster.
Man.
Yeah, we still had Mike McGee, but he was hurt.
Oh man, Matt Watson. Or wait, who? Yeah, wait, was it Matt or Mike?
That was Matt.
Wait, you know what weird fire player that I loved that I felt like didn't get enough love was Mike Banner.
The pizza man, Dominic Oduro.
Oh, yeah, Dominic Oduro was.
I think Mike Banner might have been like. I think he went into crime after his soccer career ended.
No,
he went into crime.
No, Mike Banner, don't go into crime unless you know.
Look it up, man. I think I saw someone posted it. Well, I think it was Mike Banner. Hold on, let me make sure before I put the guy.
Yeah. Oh shit. I mean, we'll give you time while we put Brian Bliss.
Brian Bliss was just bad. He was bad. I actually think he was better than Yallop, but not much.
No way.
Really?
First off, if you take a look at their statistics, I think Brian Bliss did 5 games for the Fire, 1 win, 4 losses. He's statistically the absolute worst point per game coach, right? And you wouldn't believe who's right after him, but we'll talk about that later.
Well, like he wasn't actually a coach, right?
Yes, he was an interim coach.
No, but I mean, like, that wasn't his trade. Like, actually, he never had a head coaching job. He was an interim in Columbus in 2013 and an interim in 2006 in Kansas City. Mm-hmm. Besides that, he spent his whole time as an assistant.
And it was bad.
You're right.
Yeah, I can't find it.
That's not just bad. That's dumpster fire bad.
All right, I think we got a fight on our hands, gentlemen.
Well, which one? Okay, so yeah, Brian Bliss was dumpster fire. I think he was just there just to just be there. He wasn't even trying. He was just there to be there.
Yeah, he was just a warm body until they hired this man.
Oh no, Veljko Paunovic. Where do we place Veljko Paunovic? I like Veljko Paunovic. Now that he's away from the club, but
realistically speaking.
But he was not good when he was here. He had 1 good season, 2017, and he had 3 other bad seasons.
Very
so
bad
seasons. He's bad. I think he's bad. I think
he's better than De Los
Lobos. Yeah, there's sufficient data.
He's bad, but better than De Los Lobos.
Yes.
My biggest issue with Veljko is that he never really adapted to the situation. He just kept playing the same formation over and over again, not really adapting to the changes.
He was terrible. I'm not a fan of Veljko. Veljko made me rip my hair out. I felt like I feel like most of the fan base was very pro Veljko, and I just can't.
No, I lost my patience with him during 2018 once I saw the writing on the wall. I'm like, yeah, this guy sucks. 2016, I saw the writing on the wall, and I was like, yeah, this guy's garbage. All right, who's next?
Rafa.
I don't know, but I'm gonna tell you this: I'm
What?
not seeing anything disparaging about Mike Banner.
I couldn't find it either.
All right, take
Somebody
it back.
posted something. I take it back.
We have to take it
That's
back
fine.
unless someone in the comments below finds,
Yeah.
contacts their private eye.
Would he go under Michael Banner? I don't know.
So, who's next here?
Rafa Wiki followed up Velko Paunovic. I would put him bad behind or in front of Velko, somewhere in that range.
I think he is why insufficient data exists. Because in my opinion, he wasn't given a team to
He
work
had 51
with,
matches. He had 50 games, and he sucked.
I mean, he did, but that that was some of the worst constructed teams that we ever had. He had personal issues and just could never. I don't know.
so it's a dumpster fire. Okay.
I feel like he was. No, he's bad. He was not as bad as those guys. I always drank the Kool-Aid on Wiki. I still kind of do. I feel like he has to find a situation that works for him. All right, what do we got?
Oh wait, hold on. Are we talking about Wiki?
Yeah,
Wiki. I got
he
him in
was
the
bad. He was
bad.
bad. He's bad.
If we look at a points per game basis, Velko Paunovic comes in at 1.2, Rafa Wiki at a 0.98 with 51 games played.
Yes.
Wiki's worse than Yallop. Wiki's worse than De Los Cobos. Wiki was dumpster fire worthy, guys. I don't know if you guys are thinking.
You know what? I think yeah. He might have looked like a nice guy, but you're right. He was a dumpster fire.
He was a dumpster fire.
Okay.
He might have been worse than De Los Cobos.
He's literally in the same. He's in the same spot. It's just a different category. I'll concede. I was a fan, but go ahead.
Well, if we dig a little bit deeper, he lost more than De Los Cobos, and he also lost more or less than Frank Yallop. He lost less than Frank Yallop, so I think that's where he's at. I think he's above De Los Cobos, below De Los Cobos, but above Frank Yallop. Think that's his.
Man, this is a really bottom heavy tier list here.
I thought he was going to be in bad, but I mean, maybe De Los Cobos is just bad.
We'll
see. We'll see.
No, you don't touch that. Yeah,
I love it. All right, so we have Frank's another Frank stint here. Him doing an interim job.
Just put all the Franks in dumpster fire at this point.
This is
after this one goes in bad.
I mean, it's 5 games.
2 wins, 3 losses, 1 tie.
Correct.
That is a dumpster fire. That is a dumpster fire trademark.
Now, I'd put that Frank behind Valco.
Okay.
That's where I'd put that Frank.
Let's see. If we take a look at the underlying numbers for Frank following Wiki, he was much better than Wiki. He was much better.
Yeah, but that was a smaller sample size.
Yes.
Yeah, well, and it's also that time of year the Fire always do the false, we're gonna do something. Yeah, the false hope run. All right,
Ezra Hendrickson.
Bad.
Oh, bad behind Frank.
Hold on, better than that Klopas. No, you better flop him in that
You think he was better than that Klopas?
Yeah, I think Ezra Hendrickson did not get an actual fair shake here.
No, he was bad.
46 games.
He was bad.
He's better than Wiki. He had the same amount of time of games as Wiki, and he was better than Wiki. I'll give him that.
I think he's better than that Frank right there. Put him behind Valco.
You really think he's better than that Frank? If we take a look here.
Also, the more we've gone through this, and before we do the last one, why don't you move our friend Osario up to good enough? No, up to good enough.
Fine.
There you go.
Fine.
I'm happy with that so far.
I like that I could delete Insufficient Data too. So I mean, it was a nice holding pattern there for us.
So the next 2 Franks, you might well just put them in dumpster fire.
Yeah, I would put both Franks in dumpster fire. Do they go ahead of Wiki?
Sorry, I'm doing this live.
No, I'd say they go behind.
Okay, so I mean, actually, I'd put the first of the two Franks in between Wiki and Yallop.
Which is when he followed up Ezra Hendrickson
Correct.
as you put him where between Wiki and
Yep.
Okay.
And then I would put this current iteration of Frank, like
That's
dead
the
ass. I don't care
Deadass, yeah.
what the stats are. This guy is
It's
behind
trash.
Yallop.
The man has tarnished his whole like. No. You put him behind Brian Bliss. You don't do that to
Nah,
Brian
don't
Bliss.
do that. No. You had it right. This is the
No,
This
no.
is it.
I don't.
This is it.
I think that this current the Frank before this was actually he was putting up 1.21 points a match.
Yeah, I
It was
think
his-
I confused those
so
two Franks.
so like I would put him. It was actually almost okay, fine again.
No.
It was it was better than
Velcro.
Velko. It was better than Velko.
No, don't you dare put Frank Klopas other than his first run. Well,
This run was better than Velko's. You know, I mean, 30 games, 11 wins, 1.27 points per game. Meanwhile, Velko is rocking a one. Okay, you're right. Maybe Velko had 3 years to kind of rock that, so maybe right behind Velko, but above Ezra.
how we feel about this, boys?
This is interesting.
Our first four coaches are our best. Actually, they're almost in order.
I think this is our top 10 coaches.
Yeah, I
Bob-
mean there
Bob
was
Bradley,
only 11.
Bob, the top 10 coaches for the Fire: Bob Bradley, Dave Saracen, Denny Hamlet, Juan Carlos Osorio, Frank Klopas, number 5,
Alpha.
Velko, the first version, the first version of Frank,
Yeah.
Velko Paunovic, the third version of Frank,
Theta.
Ezra Hendrickson, the second version of Frank as an interim,
Dose.
De Los Cobos, and so that that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and De Los Cobos is number 10.
Holy crap! How bad do you have to be outside of the top 10 when there's? I mean, really, there's only been 9 people to coach this team.
Rafa Wiki's out.
Oh, we have a top 10.
Well,
out of
let's see
9
who's
people.
left out. Let's examine who's left out of the top 10 of Fire coaches. You got Rafa Wiki on the outside looking in, Frank Yallop on the outside looking in, this current iteration of Frank Klopas on the outside looking in, and Brian Bliss. I think this
I don't
makes
see
sense.
why this like last year's Klopas, I think you guys have rated too high, but that's fine.
That's what I said too. I said that.
But
I think Frank Klopas, outside of his first stint, is just bad.
well, like this Klopas is by far the absolute worst. Like, not like I actually don't care what the numbers say. He has been so obviously out of ideas since week 4.
Yep.
He has been out of ideas since week 4, and like how can we exist? Dude, we lost 2 games at home this week. You have to fire somebody, even if it's not Klopas. Like, even if it's Sparky, you have to fire someone for
That's
me.
why I said.
Fire
That's why
someone.
I said like Joe Mansueto probably doesn't care. You know how we were all complaining about, man. We all wish we had an owner that will spend money. We got our wish, but now we got an owner that just doesn't care.
Man, don't tell me no monkey paw bullshit. Anyway,
I'm just saying. We were all begging for an owner that had money that will infuse this team with cash, but now we got an owner that throws money, likes to burn money. Let's be
hold on.
honest.
This guy does not like to rock the boat, does he? He kept Valco for a year after buying the team, didn't he? He does not
Crazy
like
thing.
change.
He bought the team. He kept Velko for a month after Velko had
I thought he kept him all
re-signed.
season.
No, he kept Velko, man. So he actually paid whatever amount of money, whatever amount of years the contract was with Velko, just to keep him for a month.
Unbelievable. All right. Well, everybody let us know what your opinions are. Like, were we completely off base? Would you have someone else in another position? I as far as I'm comfortable with this, I am shocked. I'm shocked to see as many Klopas's higher than other people. But it happens, man.
I'm
The
shocked
mini
to see
face of the
Velko.
Copas.
Velko this high. Velko made the top 10. De Los Cobos. I don't think anybody saw De Los Cobos making the top 10.
No, I honestly, what's so funny is everyone under Osario in my heart felt like a dumpster fire, but then when you stack them up against each other, it's like, wow.
Wow.
Like, wow.
Pick your poison type of situation.
Yeah, the whole goddamn thing in dumpster fire, right?
Yeah, there. That's a more accurate picture of how we feel as Fire fans.
I will
This
say
is
that
accurate. I agree. This is perhaps the most accurate version.
I gotta tell you, I am so happy that I was able to finally get Dennis Hamlet some love out here in the universe. I've been singing the praises of those 2 years for a long time. Don't you dare.
Oh
Don't
my
you dare.
god.
That man was great. That is a great man.
You're playing with
Anyway,
fire now. Literally.
For Enemies of the Fire, I've been FC Neo Tokyo. That was DPG. That was James. Everybody, we love you. Like, subscribe, comment. We've been having a lot of fun here, and let us know what you think, man. We always love hearing it. You know, we're always up for a good time.
Yeah, let us know if your top 10 list of Chicago Fire coaches aligns with ours, how it differs. We love to read your comments. We'll see you guys next time here on Enemies of the Fire. If you guys have other ideas for a top 10 list you'd like to see us do, put them in below. We love to read them. Peace.
Peace.